Hello and welcome into the RotoWire Esports Show. I'm Andrew Laird, joined as always by Ethan Sexton. Today to talk about Saturday's 4-series LPL LCK slate. Before we do that, as always, we'll review today's, which was an absolute disaster if you played Sandbox.
Yeah, and you know I did, so it was an absolute disaster for me today, man. Yeah, I think I said this yesterday, but you need to correct me if I'm wrong because I don't remember that. Of course, I liked Sandbox, and I didn't like Afrika, but I think I might have at least said in there somewhere that this was a battle of two bad teams, so anything could happen. So I'm not really trying to take any credit out of that statement. It's pretty obvious. But I hope I didn't dissuade too many people with my Sandbox love because they got absolutely smashed. I mean, Afrika broke the slate, right? Yeah, they scored just incredibly well. Stand by what I said. I don't like the team, but yeah, it's a matchup of two bad teams, so maybe I should have stuck to the analysis I usually give, which is just play the cheaper side.
I think what got me about it was there was no thought in my mind, really none, that even if Afrika won, there was no way they were going to just absolutely destroy Sandbox to the point where you had to have them to win.
Right.
But I was checking scores and I saw that Sandbox lost and I'm like, all right. I played what did I play? Suning and Sandbox, and
Shooting part was good.
half of that worked out well. But then, so I knew that I lost because I had Sandbox. But then I go to the top of the standings and I'm like, oh, not only did Sandbox not lose, but I actually just played the wrong side of the highest scoring team on the slate.
Yeah, it was a bummer, man. Too much time spent with me disparaging Afrika, I guess. So that one's on me, man. Forgive me.
It was really a perfect storm though of the Afrika disparagement plus the Sandbox love that
Yeah, didn't work out. The Sandbox love really, I think it worked out one time this year, this split. So gonna have to reassess my irrational love of Sandbox before the summer.
we might have to review that one a little bit. But we move on to Saturday, 4-game slate. Damwon, the biggest favorite against KT. Then we have Top Esports favorite against WE. And then these next two are rough. We've got Red Force favorite against Fredit Brion. And yep. Thunder Talk found a way to be a favorite against someone, although it's ever so slightly against OMG. Feels like an OMG slate to me.
Yeah, I agree. So this is, by today's logic, OMG are the cheap team in a matchup between two crappy teams. So yeah, I want to be if I'm not playing Thunder Talk as a favorite. No freaking way, man.
No way.
So give me OMG as an underdog in a series between two crap teams that could be just a ridiculous series like we saw with Afrika and Sandbox today. I don't feel that great about playing either side of that matchup. But I'm definitely not going to play TT as a favorite. So yeah, I'm on board with OMG there. And then if you play OMG, you can get pretty much whatever you want after that. So it really opens up the salary a lot on this slate for the likes of Damwon or Top Esports. So yeah, I'm on board with the OMG call. I just can't imagine playing Thunder Talk at these prices.
Yeah, the odds right now, Thunder Talk's minus 113, OMG's minus 107. It's not like Thunder Talk are big favorites, just the way that pricing works out. You have to have 4 favorites. And so, right. OMG could be a favorite by the time they actually start playing with the way odds are moving. So, yeah, I think they're just the obvious standout underdog on the slate. That being said, leverage-wise, I think you got to be all over WE. Not that I think they beat Top, but right. I don't think KT has any shot against Damwon. And I think most people are going to play Top just because it's always fun to play Top, especially if you have an underdog that you can play them with. And we obviously are looking at OMG. I think everybody's going to want to play Top. And they have dropped games to teams dropped series to teams that they probably shouldn't. Not recently, but you know,
Right.
at some point. And WE seems like one of those teams that like maybe just good enough to pull it off.
Yeah, no, we're like we're simpatico here right now, man. So I don't like WE to win, but I can get behind playing them in DFS
Right.
because they are, in theory, they're a good enough team to beat Top. It's just, in reality, Top are red hot, man. They haven't lost, as I scroll through, they haven't lost a series since the beginning of February, and they've won most of the ones they've won via sweep.
Yeah.
And WE are faltering here at the 11th
Yeah.
hour as we head into the playoffs. So to me, like as of right now, it feels like only 4 teams can win China. So it's EDG, RNG, JDG, and the 4th team at the moment, I think, is Top Esports. They have been lights out, man. I'm actually wrong about
No,
what
they
I said.
lost to they lost to RNG.
Yeah, so that was, you know what? Take it all back. All in WE.
All in.
No, yeah, sorry. I'm glad that we noticed that before we got done filming. But I still feel the same way about Top, though. So RNG are obviously their first place in the league, or one of the top teams in the league, so can't really hold that loss too much against Top. And I just think that WE are good, but not good enough to beat the teams ahead of them, basically. Especially like right now, they're not exactly in the best form coming into this series. So I think they could win, but I don't think they will. But even saying that, I can get behind playing them in DFS because I think they're going to be low owned, and they at least have a chance to win. And if they win, they could probably score well as well. So I think for DFS purposes, they're a fine spot to go to.
Yeah, I think like we keep having to make this point that particularly League of Legends DFS, yes, you need to get winning teams right, but if there's a chance that an underdog is going to win, you're going to benefit so much more from that win than if you just keep trying to jam favorites in over and over and over again. Like the number of chopped first place or first through 35th, you're sharing all those spots that really you need to build, at least in terms of tournaments. And this goes for like multi-entry or single entry. Like you need to build your lineups to finish first. So if you're going to do that, you play WE with the expectation that like they probably won't win, but if they do, you're going to make a lot more money than if you just play a top Damwon double top lane lineup that maybe min cashes or you just fall short. Like I don't want to play WE. I think they're going to lose, but I get why. I mean, I think they provide the biggest leverage on the entire slate.
Yeah, I mean, they're not in. I think I was a little too harsh. They're not in like the worst form, but they just can't beat the teams ahead of them.
Right.
Is what it feels like, and it feels like Top is one of those teams that maybe is going to be a little too much for WE. But we can at least see the outcome of WE winning, right? So it's not like a total crazy thing to do. And then you factor in that you're going to get them at pretty good ownership. I mean, it's a spot I'm open to going to tomorrow for sure.
I am basically going as if Fred Brian and Red Force doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to play that series either. Like,
the real reason is just that like if Fred Brian wins, I just don't see the upside, and if they lose, I just don't see Red Force blowing them out of the water. Like Fred Brian average like almost the same number of deaths per game as Damwon. Right. Which is nuts because they have like half the kills per game, but it's just like the games they play, they don't get blasted, and they certainly don't blast anyone else.
Their series are not conducive for DFS, right? So in the reverse fixture, Red Force swept, but they only got 32 kills, including the first game was 11-2. So
there you go.
I'm on board with you too. When I opened this up, when I looked at the matchups, it's like, so Red Force and Fred Brian and TT and OMG are like two gross series, but you could see TT and OMG just being gross in a way that is still good for fantasy points. But Red Force and Fred Brian just feels like a slow, boring series. So I'm on board with that. Like I locked that series off as well. I really didn't even consider either side. So, like, I think Red Force wins. So, if people want to go there, take a shot with Diakdam. He scores well usually, even if the rest of the team doesn't. But I'm not that excited. I mean, I think there's enough opportunity with underdogs on this slate that you really don't need to play like the cheapest favorite or the most expensive underdog. You know what I mean? So I'd rather like go all the way down to OMG or WE or all the way up to Damwon or Top.
Do you think, like I'm expecting Top to be higher owned than Damwon, but I mean, it's certainly in like this is a perfect storm for Damwon to just win so easily that they need, like 29 kills in both games total. And like, that's it. But I feel like that should be the popular line of thinking. And like, they're certainly capable of absolutely destroying KT though.
Right.
So I don't think, like, I think ownership wise will not reflect the fact that Damwon could probably match Top's upside just given the matchups.
Right. The thing, so I agree with you in theory. Like, I think Damwon can match Top if they both win. I think they both have good upside. The thing that is a little scary to me about Damwon, and luckily they're the first team on the slate, so they're locked into first place for the playoffs in Korea. So I haven't seen this reported anywhere or anything like that. So it's nothing concrete, but with the fact that Showmaker has these health issues, does he get the day off tomorrow? It could happen. I mean, I haven't seen that anywhere. You know what I mean? So I'm just like throwing it out there basically. But I'm a little worried, like with the fact that Damwon. I don't think Damwon is the type of team that will like sit back and like mess around and not try to win. So I'm not really worried about that. But I'm wondering, do they give Showmaker the day off? I mean, it feels like no, because they were kind of locked in their last series this week, and he played. So I feel like he won't sit, and we will know. I mean, I won't know because I'll be sleeping. But if you play Damwon, you can get on Twitter and look and find the starting lineup before they start at 4 a.m. tomorrow. But just something I wanted to mention. I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm expecting him to play. But I did just kind of want to throw that out there. So I haven't seen any news about it, and I feel like we would have by now. So not really that big of a concern, but a little concern.
We are getting into that point of the season where like absolute shenanigans can happen because we're not quite there yet in China, thankfully. But I do remember last split, like the end was just god awful if you thought you knew what chalk was like.
I think that's what we're going to see. So Top and WE need to play for seeding still in the playoffs. But I think we could see some ridiculous gameplay out of that Thunder Talk OMG because it's two teams with nothing to do. So that could be just a really weird series tomorrow.
Yeah, the benefit of those two teams, they know that Rogue Warriors are worse. So like they're not going to finish dead last.
Right.
But yeah, that series, it's funny that because like we have talked like numerous times throughout the split about like why we prefer LPL teams over LCK and all this stuff. It's always about pace, but like these two like bottom dwelling matchups is such a clear example of it that we're like semi excited to play OMG. Not really Thunder Talk, but like we see a lot of upside with OMG, and you're like, well, what about Red Force and Frederick Brion? We're like, that is a complete stay away. Even though they basically standings wise and where they are, like they kind of match up the same way.
Right. No, I agree, man. I feel the same way about them. It just, I don't know. They haven't. Neither of those teams have really shown anything, especially good or especially bad for fantasy purposes, that make me want to go there.
Right. Do you think KT scores well if they win?
I think they could, but I just don't think they're going to win.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they would have to crush Damwon, but I don't know. I just don't see them winning, so it's not really in the consideration for me, to be honest.
Was it... Damwon was the first ridiculous Frederick Brion win, right?
Yes.
Gen G was the recent one, yeah.
Yep.
So that like on that slate, Frederick Brion beat Damwon, and the only spot that was worth taking was the team slot. So it's like that's how I look at KT. Like I'm just not sure you're going to get any value out of anyone.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Whereas, like, I could see WE in a win, I could see scoring well, but KT, I don't see it as much.
Yeah.
So.
I'm going to be so upset if we talk tomorrow and Thunder Talk is today's Afrika.
Yeah, it's going to be annoying. Afrika were cheap, though, whereas Thunder Talk are expensive, so I feel like they're not expensive, but, I mean, they could definitely be the highest scoring team on the slate. I'm not paying those prices, though.
Yeah,
man.
simple as that. Yeah. Yeah, totally agree. All right. We'll go down with the OMG ship.
Yeah, let's go, man. I can't do it 2 days in a row because TT are in the sandbox spot, and I got to at least learn my lesson a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. If you guys have enjoyed the video, if you could please hit the like button below. Feel free to subscribe for all the RotoWire videos. You can also try a RotoWire subscription at rotowire.com/YouTube. Gets you 10 free days to the site, no credit card required, access to every sport we cover, as well as our subscriber Discord chat, so feel free to take advantage of that. Ethan, thank you, and good luck on Saturday.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.